So I don't know what gimbal you are using, but there are a lot of one-handed gimbals out there in the world that are really good and perfect for a lot of things. But there's always a but, isn't there? What if you've got a bit of a bigger shoot coming up and maybe you want a few more features from your gimbal? You want to add a few more features to the gimbal and up your gimbal game, but you don't want to spend 6K on a Movi Pro. I might have some ideas for you. So over here, I've got an absolute overkill of a one-handed gimbal, okay? And I wanted to show you how much you can actually modify your gimbals. And hopefully this video will give you a few ideas what you can do with your gimbal, improve your shots and your client shots. So all the B-roll that you're gonna see in this video has been shot with this gimbal. But this gimbal here, I am using the PFY Maverick, and I think this is probably one of the best, if not the best, my opinion obviously, one-handed gimbals out there in the world. No offense, but the PFY Maverick or the PFY company might be one of the only, if not the only company that's outside of China that produces gimbals, just so you know. I know that most of you aren't subscribed who are watching this video right now. So let's sort that out right now. So, you know, scroll a little bit down, hit that subscribe button so you wouldn't miss any of the content that's coming out of this channel. If you enjoy this content so far, so hit that like button, it actually makes a difference. But quickly about the Maverick, what I like about this is it's very actually light when you're using it with one-handed, but it actually has quite a big payload that it can carry. It can carry up to 9 pounds or 4.2 kilos, which is actually quite a lot of, you know, a lot of cameras can go on there, but still kind of remains the small footprint of a gimbal. I'm not going to talk about too much about the gimbal. I've got a whole review about this, so if you want to check it out, the link is up there. But as you can see, there's quite a lot of bits and things that are on this gimbal, and believe it or not, this is not a 6K gimbal. This is just a fraction of the price that you would pay if you wanted to go and get a Movi Pro. Just let's go through some of the things and I can show you like how you can improve and what these things can do. By the way, I'm gonna leave all the links for these things in the description so you can check them out yourself. If you're not completely sure, oh, what was this thing called again? I'm gonna leave them all in the description so you can check them out. But as you can see, this thing looks quite impressive. And when you show up in a maybe more corporate shoot with this type of thing, the client's like, whoa, nice, can we pay you more money? Because you obviously know what you're doing. But it's just a one-handed gimbal that every vlogger or travel filmmaker uses in the world. So one of the biggest things over here is this handle over here. As you can see, this handle adds quite a lot, which means that now it can be a two-handed gimbal if wanted to. So I can have like one in the front and kind of that type of thing. So I'm holding one in the back, but also I can go very easily to the underslung mode. Wait a second, I have to change that. So if I'm gonna go underslung mode, it's very easy to kind of do that, and I can see from the monitor what am I doing. So I like that handle setting a lot. But the thing is, you can easily adjust the handle angle however you want it. You can put it on the side however you want it. So that's up to you. So this handle is by the PFY Maverick as well. Depends if you want to get this gimbal. It already comes in some of the kind of kits in with the gimbal, so that's really cool. You can buy it separately as well, which probably is a little bit more expensive, but you can find the links in the description below. So onto this handle, I have mounted a monitor, and this is one of the biggest things that will improve your gimbal game over there. This is Andy Cine 4K, well, Andy Cine A6 Plus. I've got a review about that also up there, so if you want to check it out. One of the main thing is that when I'm shooting log with this, I can get a lot on there and see the final image over here and get the exposure right straight away, and not just be pulling out my hair later on in the post-production where I'm like, why did I not stop it down a little bit more because I couldn't see the camera screen, blah blah blah. Anyway, absolutely awesome monitor. But one of the main things what actually mounts the monitor onto this kind of system is you can obviously use like magic arms. I've got one over here which I'm going to talk about in a moment, but what I have used is this little vlogger's mount by PFY as well. Basically what this mount is, that is a cold shoe mount on one side, which this handle in the top of this handle over here has a cold shoe mount, so you can slot it in there, and then you can easily move the monitor around, tilt it up or down, or tilt it sideways, or you know, like that. So really kind of small joint thing that lets you do a lot of movements. It's one of the best accessories I have. Also, you need a cable to connect to the camera, and I know you're like, wait a second, how boring is this? You need a cable for the camera. Yes, of course you do, but the thing is, some of the cables are very, very thick. Let me give you an example. So this over here is like a normal size of a HDMI cable kind of thickness. It might be even slightly thinner than usual, but if you compare it to this cable over here, you can see that this cable is much thinner and much smaller. So the thing is, with these gimbals, you can have a cable that actually pulls the gimbal out of balance or puts a strain on the gimbal and on the motors. That's why you need a cable that's very thin and can actually just kind of hang about and not take a lot of weight, but still keep the camera in balance and perfect, you know, perfect horizon. I don't know if you noticed that already, but this gimbal setup also features a follow focus system. So I've got this like wireless follow focus wheel over here, which I've mounted on top of the camera angle, so I can easily be next to the monitor and then pull focus, which is really cool. Okay, and there you go, you are in focus. So maybe you're planning to use some kind of manual focus lenses that are more cinematic and things. Then the cool thing is you can have a follow focus on this gimbal setup as well, which is very small, very light, really cool, easy to use. I've got a review about this also in the channel, so if you want to check it out over there. Now, what PFY has done recently is they have actually released this new kind of release plate that goes on to this camera mount. So they used to have this quick release plate over here that's just like that, you know, Manfrotto compatible, which this one also is. But now this quick release plate also has a rod support kind of built into this, so you can have a 15mm rod over here and then have your follow focus attached to this over here. The reason why this is good is that now you don't have to mount and balance your camera twice onto the gimbal, because previously you had this hot shoe mounts which come actually with the follow focus system, which is all right, you know, you can use it. It comes with like a hot shoe mount, so you kind of attach it to your camera over there and it gets it really top heavy. But now take the camera off your gimbal, put the motor already on, balance all your, you know, the belt and everything, put it on, and then now you balance the gimbal only once, which is a massive time saver and makes it much faster. So I quite like this feature as well. Also, maybe you have recently purchased the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K or 6K, then you probably know that your camera is quite wide. If you have tried this, it's usually you'd be struggling to mount this camera on here because the actual mount is too close to the pitch side arm over here, which means your camera is just hitting that and you can't mount it. But the cool thing is, now they have a separate arm that you can purchase over here, which makes you able to move the camera plate on the bottom left and right. So as you can see over here, it can move left and right. So you can actually adjust your camera, put the camera over here, and you can see how much room is on the left side over here. So you can mount your Blackmagic camera over here. So if you're a Blackmagic user, you might want to check this out as well. And to put this completely over the top, because this gimbal has a 1/4" screws on both sides of the handle as well for mounting options, I have mounted this LED video light over here. So as you can see, there's a magic arm over here, which is really cool thing actually, because this locking mechanism is quite big, so you can actually tighten it really well. So there's not like little knobs that you have to use your fingers with. You can get quite a lot of your hand in there and get it really tight, which is cool. The other thing is that it's kind of adjustable. So once you have locked it and it's in an awkward position, you can just push it up and then move the handle to a different position, you know, more kind of usable or suitable position, which is really cool. This LED light is like a pocket LED RGB light. I don't know if you've seen them online. There's quite a lot of reviews these days online about this, but this is one of the cheapest ones out there, and I quite like it as actually. It's $100 only. So I can show you here. This is turning the light on over here. You've got some dimmer buttons on the bottom over here, changing the color temperature. As you can see, let's turn it up a little bit more. There we go. See, color temperature changes over here. And then we can go to different modes as well. So you've got some lightning modes, and this is, you know, fading all the colors. This is a police car. And these are colors. Obviously, this is not necessary, but sometimes maybe you're filming a documentary in a very dark environment, somewhere dark outside, and you need this light, which then this is perfect setup for you. You can easily see your exposure, the light is lighting the subject, so it's perfect. Now, I hope this video has been helpful for you, and the reason I made this video is that to show you and give you some ideas what you can do actually with your gimbal. And you know the situations you're shooting with, you're thinking, actually, do you know what? Maybe that monitor is actually really useful for you, or maybe this magic arm over here is very useful for you as well. So hopefully you got some ideas from this video to kind of think, okay, maybe I can improve my gimbal game, and maybe I can improve my gimbal. Just remember, if you want to pick up any of these items that we talked about in this video, the links for these are in the description. Thanks guys for watching. If you have any other questions, I'm going to meet you in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios. Already. Blah, 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 blah.